Well, today we're not in the garage, we're in the driveway. Somebody's mowing a yard. Good for them. Mine's going to be mowed here in a little bit. But we're working on this. What is this vintage? It is a, well, it's 1193, so it's a 94 Honda Accord. And it is a 5-speed. And this video is not going to be really on how to take out the whole transmission, just a little bit of problems it is. Well, the problems it has. So you put this thing in gear. A little rough start, hasn't been started in a while. Let me show you something. So she pretty well, except for right there, it wants to kind of shift into its gears. Okay. There's it's in reverse. She tries to go forward. Well, that's not right. And now we're in neutral. She wants to go forward again. So I say we got a screw tranny here. So pull up the emergency brake so she doesn't go nowhere. And now we'll start getting this thing put up on jack stands and start ripping this tranny out. Fun. The fun that goes on here at Dave's garage. It's like never ending. Well, let's get on with it. Okay, as you can see, we're under the car. There's jack stands. Yeah, got a piece of plywood down. Got my magic carpet right here. First thing we always want to do, usually with these babies, is we're going to drain the oil or transmission fluid out of this transmission. And what it takes for that is a 3/8 ratchet, yeah. And your plug is located, where is it? Right here. Get over here where my finger is. But one thing I noticed when, per se, I was going to stage this in a way, well, when I put the wrench on there, she was loose. I'm willing to bet that there is no oil in this transmission. And I hear the kids getting yelled at. Let's see what happens here. That's a problem. You think that's why the transmission KO'd itself? I would say. Huh. Well, let's pull this transmission. But, yeah, you would actually take out this lower one. Looks like that. There's one that is upper from that, and that's where you would fill it. I'll put a description below on an easy way to fill this baby up, as long as you have an air compressor. The description will be in the bomb dually thing. Yeah, bomb description, yeah. So, I'll start doing some stuff. Okay, out here at the Beater Honda, we got the transmission out. I'm going to show you some of the parts that I had taken out to remove this transmission, so here we go. As you can see right here, oh, the suspension is torn out through here. The upper A-arm down to the lower, that whole spindle, it's all gone. There's a trailing arm that goes up here to the front. I've taken that out. And yeah, taking off the tie rod, you got the ABS, and there's the caliper, which has no stress on it. Look, you can wiggle it, so you know it doesn't need to be retained. And then of course, yeah, I got my engine bar in there. Everything's supported and the dog continues to bark. Took one radiator fan out. Oh, it just gets fun. But now let's look at the transmission. Can't really say much for it other than there it is. It is all taken apart. There's the view all the way around it. So the synchronizers is what has failed, and this transmission had no transmission fluid in it. So that's the reason why this thing has died. So okay, I'm going to share with you how I got the transmission to this point. I took out all the bolts all the way around the bell housing, I popped it up, and I also took off the shift linkage. That's all the bolts over there. But then I got it to pop up just a little bit. Well, I took this pry bar and just kind of wiggled it under here just to make it a little bit tight, which on top of this case, we'll take out the bolts right here, and you can see that ring right there. I pushed and separated that, which releases the bearing to come down. So that's how that came apart. And here's where your shifter is, and here's two places where there'll be a ball bearing and a spring. And what that ball bearing and spring does, it's kind of what holds the gears into place when you're in those gears. You know, when you feel that kind of that clicking, that's why, because the ball bearing's riding in here, and the spring, you know, keeps the tension to try to keep it in gear. But that is an insight on this transmission as it's apart. So it's kind of like another little dissection video that I'm doing here. I'm not going to do any more with this transmission. Basically, I'll slide it back together and it's going to become scrap. So I don't know, but I will call that the end of this for this video. Now all I have to do is go find another transmission to put in this, because this one is junk, because somebody, well, let's just give you a little background story of this thing. Somebody had this, they put another transmission in it, they put a whole bunch of different parts in it to basically sell off a lemon. Whatever. Unfortunately, these kids that bought it didn't know what they were getting into, but probably me being knowing, seeing some markings on this, I would probably brought this transmission home, drained the fluid out of it, found out there was no fluid in it, or possibly there was, or the drain plug was loose, whatever, and refilled it, and kind of went over the vehicle. This vehicle is going to need rotors, because the pistons, as you can see, are pushed out pretty far, and the rotors are just junk, so they'll have to be replaced too. But I don't see any other problems really with this vehicle, so hopefully if I find it another transmission, it'll be good to go. But kind of sucks that somebody bought another lemon, and then me here at Dave's Garage gotta fix it. Kind of like, whatever, just another day. So, well, I'm gonna get off here. I hope you enjoyed the video. So, like always, comment, rate, subscribe, and thank you for all my subscribers. I seen I was up to like 640 now. So, if you're making it this far along in the video, thanks a lot. So, I'm gonna say it one more time. Like always, comment, rate, subscribe, and check me out on Dave's Garage 512 on Facebook later on. And oh yeah, the video is what it is.